It's a common sight nearly every election season. Parents armed with signs asking voters to vote yes on school levies. Some of these levies pay for new technology or new buildings, but some are operating levies, which do just that. Keep school districts operating by paying the light bill or paying the teachers. There's a bill in the legislature that wants to give more power to school boards to renew an existing operating levy. It would be the same power and the same process that cities and counties renew their existing operating levies. Shannon Sladden explains.
You could feel the relief in the room back in 2008 when the Robbinsdale School Board voted to keep Northport Elementary School open.
See what happens, and it still gives us hope.
The school was at risk of being closed because voters did not approve the renewal of an expiring operating levy the previous November, which meant the district had to cut millions out of the budget.
It's emotional for everyone on the board and in the community, because some people see it as a loss that we're going to have to go through this again, and some people feel like, okay, they saved their school. But I certainly want to caution against false hope for anybody.
Luckily, voters approved a levy later in 2008, which stopped further cuts. But the pain of that failed 2007 levy still resonates.
In 2007, when our district did not pass that, it sent shockwaves.
John Vento is chair of the Robbinsdale School Board now. Vento has testified about a new bill that would give school boards the same authority as cities and counties to renew existing operating levies. He says it would eliminate expensive levy campaigns as well as the uncertainty of what to cut if a levy renewal fails.
The laser focus of this bill, it is only on renewal of operating levies. So it is a levy that the voters have already approved, and then by a simple majority of their elected officials, after holding a public hearing, they would be able to renew that again.
I feel like it jeopardizes the education of the students to kind of put them at the mercy of a vote, especially when there's no tax increase involved.
Representative Mike Freiberg is one of the legislators working to change how school district operating levies are renewed.
It enables them to renew an expiring operating referendum just by a vote of the school board. They're the elected officials. That's what we entrust them to do.
It's worthwhile to note that any new levies would still have to be approved by voters. This is only for expiring operating levies. Another name is coming to a Brooklyn Center hotel. A Texas investor has acquired the Rise by Elevation Hotel on Freeway Boulevard in a $10 million deal. It will soon switch to a Radisson. It will be the hotel's 6th different name in its more than 20-year history. You could say this next story is about seniors helping seniors. Reporter Meredith Hackler explains how some senior dogs are bringing smiles to Brooklyn Center seniors.
Smiles are often contagious when there's a friendly dog nearby, and that's the case at Maranatha Senior Living in Brooklyn Center when this dog pack comes to visit.
Oh, have him shake!
These dogs might be special visitors now, but their visits actually started about a month ago with one little dog named Willie.
She comes over every couple of weeks.
Katie Corna adopted Willie. Then she got to know his owner, a man named Gene Dorfy, who moved into a senior living center and couldn't keep the dog with him.
If you're sad, you don't want to do it, but everyone's working, no one can take them, no time, And
Lucky for Gene, Katie was looking for a sidekick.
This grandpa comes with a grandpa? Like, yes, please.
Before Katie adopted Willie, he visited Gene regularly, which Katie loved that her new dog came with an extended family.
There's so many things I love about Willie. The best thing about him is that you just get to see people's tenderness all the time around him, and that is just so present when I get to come out here.
Katie liked seeing how residents reacted to Willie, so she decided to start having senior dogs visit seniors at Maranatha once a month.
I feel like my job is just to care for this little being who just brings so much love and comfort to a lot of people and has connected and connects a lot of people.
And people working at Maranatha can see the difference those furry friends can make.
When we have those animals, they tend to bring us together. People seem to pack up a little more when they see animals, whether it's a cat, whether it's a dog.
Arenge says being around animals can actually help reduce seniors' blood pressure and reduce their stress levels.
He's 11.
I still have 11.
Yeah, he's an oldie.
While Katie feels lucky,
I did not at have any idea that it would be like this totally rad, like open adoption co-parenting process with a stranger. You know, I didn't think I would get that lucky.
The two-legged seniors say they're blessed to make friends with the four-legged ones.
Shake.
In Brooklyn Center, Meredith Hackler, CCX News.
You can see cars that are fast and furious at the Twin Cities Auto Show happening this weekend at the Minneapolis Convention Center. But you can also see what happens when something goes wrong on the road. Minnesota State Troopers brought along a sobering example of how dangerous the roads can be in this crashed SUV that resulted in the death of a young mother of 3. Avoiding distracted driving is one of the messages the State Patrol is sharing.
Well, there's a lot of fast and fun cars, but one of our primary goals here is to talk to people about distracted driving, impaired driving, wearing your seatbelt, reducing your speed, and of course with the winter we've had, paying attention to your driving. Slow down, get where you need to go safely.
The State Patrol says texting and driving is a dangerous epidemic that needs to be addressed. Aside from the more serious display at the auto show, there's plenty of other items to catch your eye.
Well, I just love Legos, so it's pretty crazy to see a life-size pickup truck made of Legos.
More than 300,000 Legos went into creating this full-size pickup truck. Even the wheels are made of Legos. The Twin Cities Auto Show runs all weekend down at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Local dealerships are also part of the fun. We've got a link for more information on our website, ccxmedia.org.
The Wayzata boys basketball team fell short of a third straight section title, losing to Hopkins Wednesday in the Section 6-4A final. Jacob Beeninga is the all-time leading scorer in Wayzata boys basketball history. Jason Malillo profiled Beeninga on this week's Sports Jam show.
He's that special kind of player, a guy who gets better when it matters most.
I mean, Jacob's been a huge part of our back-to-back state tournament teams. Yeah, Jacob's always just been a dog. Like, he's never scared of any moment. Like, he steps up for anything, and like Jacob always comes up clutch. Like in the end of games, like he's always like, that's when he like plays his best, is when it matters the most. As a junior, last year in the section finals, I mean, he took over the game. I mean, he didn't miss a free throw, hit big shot after big shot. He just had a chip on his shoulder that night that said, we're not losing. And he's done that other times throughout his career, and we hope that he can do it a few more times here in March as a senior.
Beeninga is the all-time leading scorer at Wayzata. He could always score from the perimeter, but Beeninga has worked hard to diversify his offensive game.
I worked on that a lot. You know, every day I'm kind of working on, I focus on getting the basket more because I'm more naturally like jump shooting and stuff, but I definitely, every day when I shoot and stuff, I work on shooting at all 3 levels. I'll do some finishing moves, kind of pull-ups in the mid-range and shoot threes and stuff. So I think working on that every day for really the past 4 years, I've really worked on being able to score at all 3 levels, and I think that's really helped me and helped our team do really well this year.
Jacob is the third Beeninga brother to come through Wayzata, following Will and Johnny. When Jacob set the new scoring mark at Wayzata, only a few letters had to be changed in the record book. The previous record holder was Johnny. They played together on the Wayzata varsity for 1 season when Johnny was a senior and Jacob a freshman. Jacob credits his older brothers with helping him develop as a basketball player.
I think they helped tremendously. It always helps to have older brothers who have pushed you throughout my life. And I think that's really helped me because it's helped me become a really competitive person. And so that's carried over to like every day in practice. You know, I'm always wanting to win drills, to win shooting contests and stuff. And so I think they've had a tremendous impact on me and how my game has developed and what person I am today.
And now the student has become the teacher. Jacob's younger brother, Eddie, is a sophomore on the Wayzata varsity.
I try to push him to be a lot better player. And sometimes if he gets down or something, I try to kind of encourage him and say like, hey, like, you did a lot of good things for our team, whatever game it was. Like, I try to kind of encourage him like that, just how Johnny used to do for me if I was down on myself. And I think that's just the biggest thing, is having confidence in yourself, and I try to instill that confidence in him. So.
After high school, Jacob will become a student athlete at Minnesota State Moorhead, where he'll reunite with Johnny, who's become a solid collegiate player for the Dragons.
It was nice to kind of see that he's already there, kind of know that the Moorhead coaches have been good to him and the community's been good to him, and so you kind of see that, and it's a really encouraging sign. And also, he'll be a senior next year, my freshman year, and so kind of having him there to help me ease into the transition of college life it was a huge factor in my decision, and just that comfortability piece was really big for me.
Jacob Beeninga is one of the best players to ever suit up for the Trojans, but the ride isn't over yet, and Beeninga hopes it doesn't end until March 23rd at Target Center.
The ride did end this week, unfortunately, for Jacob and his team. In addition to Eddie, Jacob has two other younger brothers. Nick is in 8th grade and Max is in 4th. Both, of course, are up-and-coming basketball players. Watch for highlights of the Wayzata Hopkins Section Boys Final, plus Park Center Champlin Park, Maple Grove versus Buffalo, and Brack versus Minneapolis North, starting Monday on our Sports Jam show on CCX. We'll also recap the state girls basketball tournament trips for Cooper, Hopkins, Maple Grove, and Heritage Christian, plus highlights from the state adapted floor hockey tournament.